Hello, everyone. My name is Caden Van Orman, and I am currently a student at Utah State University. I am majoring in law and constitutional studies. So eventually, I do want to go into law school and fulfill my dreams of becoming a lawyer. And so, what I have done for this leadership project is that I'm trying to figure out, or at least help out, different students who were potentially wanting to go into law school, potentially wanting to be a lawyer, or at least interested in the legal field. And basically, I made this presentation to help them out with this. And so, what I'm going to talk about in this short presentation is a couple of things. I'm first going to briefly talk about the jobs and responsibilities of a lawyer. So, what does a lawyer do? What are they entitled of? What are their powers that they hold? And then after that, I will talk about the preparation needed to become a lawyer. So that includes going to law school, taking the LSAT. What is the LSAT? And any other things or necessities that people need in order to become a lawyer. And then also too, because as you know, lawyers do get paid well because they're very skilled in what they do. There are multiple characteristics that they need in order to become a successful lawyer. And so I'm also going to touch on some of the things that we all need in order to become successful. And of course, because the legal field is very challenging, I will also talk about the different challenges that are in the legal field and also the benefits or the importance of lawyers, that why do we need them in society, and then any other additional advice. So all this information that I have gathered up and I'm going to give to all of you is actually comes directly from lawyers that I have personally interviewed myself. So I did interview 4 attorneys. So the first one I interviewed was Kristen Van Orman. She actually happens to be my mom as well. So Kristen, she is a defense litigation lawyer. So meaning that, for example, if I hit someone, Kristen would be defending me. If, for example, the other party, the person who I hit, decided to sue me, Kristen would be defending me and trying to help me receive justice or receive a less amount of money that the other side is asking for in this case. So right now she is a current shareholder at Strong and Handy Law Firm. She is now currently working 25 years, and she is very high up on the totem pole at this law firm. And she graduated at BYU Law School, and because she is a defense litigation lawyer, she is in a lot of trials, what you see maybe on TVs or in movies when you see a lawyer stand in front of a jury and trying to plead their case. So that is what Kristen does. And she specializes in employment law, personal injury law, and civil defense law. Just remember, there are many different varieties or different types of lawyers out there in the field. And I also had the opportunity to interview Joe Joyce. So Joe Joyce, you may have heard of his name. He is a pretty famous attorney here in Utah. He is a civil trial lawyer for 34 years, and he is the founder of J. Joyce Law Firm. So he has a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience in the legal field, and just like Kristen, he also graduated at BYU Law School. And due to his experience, as you can see here, he has been involved in over 150 jury trials. So Joe, even though I do know him personally, he is a perfect candidate in this presentation to help out upcoming students who want to become lawyers eventually. He is very skilled at what he does, and I'm glad that I know him personally as well. And I also interviewed Jessica Johnston. So Jessica, just like Kristen, she also works at Strong and Handy Law Firm, and she is also a defense litigation lawyer. And unlike Kristen, she is rather new in the legal field, but besides that, she is very skilled at what she does. And so she got her undergraduate degree at Dartmouth, and then eventually transferred over to BYU Law School and received her law degree there. And she specializes in construction, business, and employment law. And the last person I was able to interview is Rick Lindell. I actually happened to work for him over the summer, and he is on the other side, so he is a plaintiff attorney. So bring it back to me hitting a random person case. So the person who received the hit, who is injured, Rick would be defending that person to receive justice. So he is a co-founder of Lawrence Lundell Lofgren legal firm. It is located in South Jordan, Utah, and he is also very experienced at what he does. And unlike the others, he actually graduated from the University of Utah Law School, and then he specializes in personal injury law. So the first topic I want to touch up on are the jobs and responsibilities that a lawyer is entitled to, because most of all of us kind of know or have at least seen what lawyers do in the field. You probably know that if someone gets hurt, or if you've seen like in movies and that, if someone has committed a crime, a lawyer is there to back up the person who committed the crime, or on the other side, the person who has received that wrongdoing. And so basically what a lawyer does is they advocate for someone or represent someone or some group or an organization that has been unlawfully mistreated or has inflicted an unlawful act. So they have this power. It is called the subpoena power, which I'll talk about briefly in a second. They have the power to grab as many witnesses as needed, and they are able to compel them to give out a testimony or evidence by the law, and basically try to win the case or get as much information as possible in order to determine who is at fault at this case. And so lawyers, they engage in a lot of writing. When in my experience at working at 3 different law firms, I was involved in a lot of writing, where I would be writing different demand letters, which basically is letters or that you send out to insurance companies, basically talking about the case, what happened in the case, and who was at fault, how much money we were asking for, and any other detail needed in order to justify our side of the case and eventually win a certain amount of settlement monies. And so with that writing, you also need lawyers also need to communicate with their clients very well, because again, they are an advocate for their clients, and so they need to have that ability to communicate with them, help them, and determine what is most beneficial to win their case. And of course, they also communicate with other parties as well, from the third party, the other side of the party. They also communicate with insurance companies, with medical providers, with police, with pretty much anyone. And so they need to have that communication ability. Lawyers also participate in depositions, which, according to Kristen Van Orman, when I was able to talk to her, basically a deposition is a sworn statement under oath that is under an official. So basically meaning that if I committed a crime, basically it's not a formal trial that you would see in movies or other places, but depositions are when you're just in a conference room, or it can even be by phone, where you are under oath to speak the truth and nothing but the truth, and the statement that you will use that will be recorded can be used later on in a trial if it leads up to that, if the case is not settled. So lawyers really need to know how to carry out a deposition. And also, too, like I said before, they engage in a lot of trials as well if a case gets brought up to that, if it is not settled. And then also, too, lawyers have a lot of people who work for them, so they need to know some management skills as well. So, like I talked about this about the subpoena power, it's this great power that lawyers, um, judges, the Senate, Congress, that's pretty much it. Any government official has this power um, to to basically grab people in or take people in, have them give out a testimony that will be used for or against them, and they, of course, it must be truthful. So this power that they have is extremely precious, and Rick Lindell definitely emphasized this power and ability that lawyers have, which honestly is probably one of the most important powers that lawyers have. And the reason why that is really hard to become a lawyer is because this power um, is extremely precious, and only a certain or a finite amount of people have this power to have this power. And so, like I said before, too, with this power and all of these communication abilities and all the writing and what lawyers do, it's there's a lot of different categories or different types of lawyers out there in the field. It's it's wrong to say that there's only one type of lawyer and then they just work on different cases, but different types or different sections of lawyers, for example, business law, the cases involved in that kind of law is a lot different than construction law. Or construction law, those cases in the format of it is a lot different than personal injury law. Even though you are applying the law to a certain activity or certain event that happened that could be against the Constitution or that could be against public policies, um, it just depends on what type of law it is and how lawyers basically act out and how lawyers um, carry out their work. So it is very important to recognize this difference, and that anyone who is wanting to become a lawyer, they have that power, they have that ability to basically do what they want to do. Or basically, if I am, for example, if I'm really interested in sports, there's a type of law work that is just dedicated towards sports. There's also law work that is dedicated just towards technology if I'm interested in that. So there's a big wide variety of type of law that we can do, and that's why the legal field is extremely important, because we need lawyers out here on the planet. So a question that I had is, why aren't there a lot of lawyers out there today? Because clearly we need lawyers. We need them to interpret the truth and basically help out and provide justice to society. So why aren't there as many lawyers out there, and why is it so difficult to become one? Because of course, we have that subpoena power, and we have that power to interpret the law, but what are the aspects that you need in order to become a lawyer? And that's what I'm trying to help everyone out with, because there's some people, at least for me growing up, because I've always wanted to be a lawyer, and I just knew that, oh yeah, I wanted to be a lawyer. I just, it'd be easy just because like my mom is a lawyer, so I have those connections, but there's a lot more to it. And so there's a lot of preparation that comes into becoming a lawyer.